Welcome to Wandering. Today we're going to jump on our bikes and visit the Danish islands of Avernakø and Lyø.
The islands of Lyø and Avernakø are off the coast of the Danish island of Fyn. The ferry to get there leaves from the historic town of Fåborg. The ferry terminal is easy to find, pretty much right in the city centre. Make sure you reserve a spot ahead of time. With departures about every 2 hours, missing a sailing or two is going to ruin your day trip plans in a hurry. Once everybody is on board, make sure you catch the fantastic view of beautiful Fåborg as the ferry heads out. The ferry route runs in a rough triangle, stopping at both islands before returning to Fåborg. On this sailing, our first stop will be Lyø. Then the ferry will continue on to Avernakø before returning back to Fåborg. This makes it really easy to island hop like we're doing today. The ferry has all the expected amenities, and on a beautiful sunny day like today, the prime real estate is on the outside deck, which offers a perfect spot to watch boats and the scenic Danish coastline slip by. If you're really lucky, you might spot some dolphins. The trip from Fåborg to Lyø takes about 40 minutes. Once you've disembarked from the ferry, it is time to explore. The town itself is not that far away, easily reachable by walking, biking, or you can grab public transit, Lyø style. Lyø town, or Bø in Danish, is enchanting. Biking slowly through the narrow streets amidst the beautiful half-timbered old homes is to literally experience the Danish concept of hygge, in this case a visceral coziness. The town itself is built around the whitewashed church, which dates back to the 1600s. The church is surrounded by a circular graveyard, the only one of its kind in the country, which the island also claims to be one of the prettiest in all of Denmark. Reflective of ancient traditions, the graves here face east and feature decorative flower gardens that harken back to the Renaissance. Lyø is stunning, offering beautiful scenery everywhere you look. Most of the homes and even the farmhouses on the island date back to the 18th century, with a few even older than that. The town has convenience stores and cafes to either grab supplies or sit and enjoy a bite and a chance to drink in the scenery. Lyø was also the setting for some historical drama, a royal kidnapping.
The year is 1223. Denmark is ruled by King Valdemar II, called Valdemar the Conqueror, because he's marshaled Denmark's military might of the time, and he's gone out and invaded and seized a number of northern German states, bringing them back into the Danish fold. In May of 1223, Valdemar comes here to Lyø to go hunting with his son. That is when he is ambushed and captured by German Count Heinrich of Schwerin. Valdemar is taken prisoner, he's whisked back to Germany, and he's held hostage for 3 years, only earning his freedom when he pays a significant ransom and pledges not to take revenge.
After exploring the town and learning a little about its history, we headed out to find a spot by the water to enjoy some lunch. On Lyø, it's not hard to find a beautiful place to enjoy the view. Exploring Lyø by bike usually requires going down a road, seeing the sights, then returning to the village to choose another road in another part of the island. However, there's no rules about making your own route, and half the fun of any adventure is to get a little lost. Once we got reorientated, we're off again to explore, minus a quick stop for something cold. There are 5 Stone Age burial dolmens on Lyø, with one in particular, the Klokkestein, or the bell stone, that's a must-see.
This Stone Age burial barrow, called the Bellstone here on Lyø, is almost 6,000 years old. And it's called the Bellstone because you can take a rock like this, and you can strike the cover stone up here. There's a number of spots that have been worn away after thousands of years of doing this, and it makes a bell-like sound. Let's give it a shot. Very cool.
After checking out the Bellstone, it's time to head back to the ferry, saying goodbye to Lyø and hello to Avernakø. It's a pretty quick trip, and soon we're back on our bikes with a whole new island to explore. Avernakø is quite small, just 8 kilometers long. The ferry docks on one end, and then you can bike all the way to the other. About 100 people call this island home, and it doesn't have the delightful village that Lyø offers, instead just a single one-stop shop. While the island lacks infrastructure, it makes up for it in sheer natural beauty, with ocean views at almost every turn. The Avernakø church is relatively new by island standards. Before it was built, townfolk had to go to Lyø or Fåborg to attend church. Avernakø has its share of beautiful Danish homes, the new alongside the old. Avernakø boasts a number of great beaches, allowing for a cycling break to go swimming, do some horsing around, and maybe get in a quick stretch. Avernakø is actually 2 islands, with the other being Korshavn, but in 1937 a causeway was built connecting the two. It's exhilarating to come racing down the hill on your bike and then coast onto the causeway surrounded by beautiful ocean views. Here there is a small marina and a cluster of homes, and then you pretty much run out of road, signaling it's time to turn around and head back to the ferry terminal. As the sun sets, it's time to say goodbye to Lyø and Avernakø and enjoy a beautiful Danish sunset with some cold bevies on the ferry as we make our return to Fåborg. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next Wandering.